taking another lesson in English, and today we are talking about saving. In this time when we are at home, we tend to spend many things, we use many things extraordinarily or extravagantly. Extravagantly means that you're using more than you expect to use, which should not be the case, especially with the situation around. People are at home, people are they are not as active, and maybe because of the pandemic, people have less income. It is important to save. We need to teach ourselves to save. And what are some of the things that we save? Maybe you can tell your parent or guardian, what are some of the things that you would save? I expect you have said something. There are several things that are very important to save. One of them is money. We save money. Money is very key. If we don't save, we will not have enough to use tomorrow. And so what is saving? As we continue, saving is keeping something to be used at a later date. Keeping something to be used at a later date, not for today. That means if you have to use something, you use it sparingly to make sure that you have some to keep to be used at a later date. In maths, we learned about saving. Can you remember when we were talking about needs and wants? We said that needs are things that you cannot do without. And so you need money to make sure that you have your needs met. But wants, these are things that you can forego so that you can keep your needs met, and maybe your wants, you can have them later when you have extra. But for this season, we need to save. Wants are things like having a chocolate. Wants are things like having another pair of shoes that is fancy, and maybe you just have one that is good. But because you really don't have a need, you have a shoe. But when you want an extra one, that could be a want. But for this season, when people are trying to save and to reduce their cost of living, you can ask your parent to explain to you what the cost of living means. When parents are trying to reduce your cost of living to make sure that you have your need, one need that is very key is food. Another need that is very key is shelter. Another need that is very key is clothing. And also, another need that is very important is education and health care. Medical care is very key. So when they are trying to reduce their usage of money, make sure you don't ask for things that are to make them use extra. Help them to use the money wisely so that they don't overspend and that you don't have enough to live by tomorrow. So one of the things that we need to save is money. Another thing that we need to save is food. Don't waste food. There are people who do not have food. So don't waste food. Don't overeat. Just eat what is enough. Put on the plate what you just need to use. Don't overuse. Don't overeat. Okay? Another thing that we need to save is energy. Energy. Another thing that we need to save is energy. And what is energy? Are we talking about our strength? Yes, that could be the energy we are talking about. But most importantly, we are talking about energy that helps us to work. For example, electricity is a type of energy. Gas that we use at home is a type of energy. Maybe you're using charcoal, maybe to boil food. That is energy. Even water, that is a type of an energy that you can use. So we need to save on energy. So energy, when you're leaving a room and you don't need the light, make sure you switch it off. That is saving energy. You don't leave lights on and there's no one in that room using it. So whenever you're leaving a room, make sure you switch off. You make sure when you're cooking, I know some of us have started teaching ourselves how to cook. Whenever you finish cooking, make sure you switch off the gas, or when you're using charcoal, make sure you put something else so that you don't waste the energy. Because that charcoal, when it just burns without using anything, it is wasted. We don't need to waste. Another thing that we need to save is the environment. Environment. Look at my spelling for environment. Most of us forget this N. Make sure it has the N to make sound environment. So these are very key things that we need to save. Why do we need to save them? We need money to use tomorrow, to make sure that we have food, to make sure that we have clothing, to make sure that we have shelter on us, and we don't stay on the streets. Food is very important. For you to be strong tomorrow, you need to have enough food. Don't waste the food that you have been given. Make sure you eat healthy. This is not time to eat candies and sweets or sodas. It is time to eat healthy food, and don't waste. Energy, make sure you save the electricity. You don't waste electricity. Don't waste the gas. Don't waste even your own energy. Don't use your energy where it is not supposed to be used. Use your energy. Put your strength in your studies right now. At home, you need to concentrate and get some time to make sure that you do your work. You reserve some time to always make sure that you do house chores properly, and also school work. Every time we send work, make sure you have enough time and enough energy. Environment. When we have clean environment, it will help us to work better tomorrow. Clean environment keeps us help us to have clear minds, clear thoughts, and even it keeps us healthy. When you're in a dirty environment, it is risk to your health. So we need to save. Encourage yourself, teach yourself how to save, and it will be well with us. Thank you.